Hi everyone, Sue from Mixed Media Craft Time. I'm here today to just show you something that I have been working on, and they might just look like coffee stained envelopes, but if you have a look a little bit closer, you might see that there's actually a hint of colour there. It's a little hard to see on the camera, but if you have a look here, maybe here, they're more noticeable. They're actually purple pink shadings. Here's another one. I happened to be just checking out some videos the other night, and I came across a video by Sabrina, and I'm not sure how you pronounce her second name. It's Oreskovic, something like that. I will put her link to the video that I was watching down below. But basically she was distressing the envelopes, but giving them she was using just your vintage photo and I think walnut stain as well. But while I was watching, I was thinking, well, what's stopping you using other colours to give the envelopes a little bit of a lift? So I have been experimenting a little bit, and I've started with the pinks, which is Victoria Velvet and Dusty Concord, mostly because purple's my colour, so I always go purple first. And then she sprayed hers with some glimmer mists, I think they were, but I don't have any glimmer mists. So what I've done is I've put some pearl white paint over the top, just wiped it over with the brush just to give it a bit of a glimmer, or just a bit of a sheen, and I think that they've actually worked out quite well. So of course that got me thinking, what else could I do? So I've pulled out a couple of things. I've got a CD cover, another envelope, and then I've also pulled out what will be, when I sew it, a little pocket using book page, and I also have a tag using book page as well, which I've also put some white paper, which I think it's just photocopy paper, and a little bit of grid paper on the back. I think you could probably already, if you already had some coffee stain paper, you could put that on the back anyway, but I thought I'd give it a try and see what happens. So to start with, you'll need a cup or a jar of some coffee, diluted, well, dissolved coffee, and I think that one was just 2 teaspoons in the jar. And you'll need some of your distress inks and oxides. Now I used inks before, I haven't used the oxides, so I thought I'd give that a try. And basically all you need to do is, if I can get the little spongy bit off, is basically distress the edges like you would normally. These things are not the best. Okay. Now you don't have to be too particular, I don't think, with these. Please go and see Sabrina's YouTube channel. She does have some really lovely stuff on there. So just roughly, I'm also going to do the back. Now I've only partially done that one because I'm actually going to use the other colour as well. Now this is probably a little dark, but I thought the darker would be better to show on a video. Alright, so just change to the other blue, which is Broken China. That one was Salty Ocean. This is Broken China. So again, just rubbing it on. Okay. I thought using the 2 shades would be good just to break it up a little bit. I'm not sure how this one will work, but we'll give it a try. Alrighty, so that's those. And what I might do, whoops, is I'm going to use the purples and pinks on this one. Now to make this, all I've done is just glued, I think it was 3 pages from the book page, and then the photocopy paper on the back. Okay. Now, I don't need to do all of this because it will probably be stuck into a book. So, oops. Now my intention is to sew around the edges of this one as well when I'm finished. So that's why it's sort of, I've only glued really in the middle of it. Now I think we need this part, and I don't really need the back of this one. Now I will try to get on that fold line as well. Okay, now we'll do the back of this one. Oops. Trying to work quickly and dropping everything. Okay, now I'll just switch over colours. Oh dear. These little, I'm not sure what you call them, these ones were purchased at a craft show, and they're obviously a cheaper brand than the Ranger or Tim Holtz ones, and then they do keep coming off. I have glued a couple of them back, but oh goodness, but yeah, they're not as good. Obviously I've got some on my fingers. I'll just get that off. Now I thought these would be good to use in your journals if you're sort of following a little bit of a colour theme. Just breaks up the usual sort of colouring. Alright, so now once you've done that, you need your brush and your coffee, and I just simply wiped over the top like so. You could spray it, you could dye them I guess as you would normally if you do them in a pan or something like that, or a tray. Now the idea is that the water from the coffee activates the colour from the dyes a little bit. Okay, and what I usually do is just drop a few drops onto it. Okay. Interesting how this envelope is reacting differently to the other envelopes that I used. These ones were obviously a better quality, thicker paper than this particular one. But we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, now I'll just leave that a second over there and do the same with this, only obviously around. You do have to be careful if you have envelopes that have the gum on them as well to stick them down, because once you wet the gum it becomes, well, like glue. Alright, just a bit more on there. Okay. And repeat that with these. Which of course makes them a little bit darker, but you could do this with lighter books pages as well, so more newer book pages. It might work Might actually age them a little bit, might work quite well. Alrighty, that should just go like that. Now this one doesn't, it's harder to see, so it'd be interesting to see what happens when it's dry. Could possibly just do this with water too, actually. Just plain water. That might activate the colours a little bit too. Oops, nearly knocked the coffee everywhere. That would have been a disaster. Alright, now this part needs the coffee staining. Easier to use a bigger brush too. This I did discover. Unfortunately, none of my big brushes seemed to be handy when I wanted them. Alright, just sort of splash that around a little bit. Flick a bit on here, there and there. Okay, now once you've done that, you need your heat tool, and without causing them to catch fire, you need to dry them. So I'll just pause the video for that. Right, now they're dry. When you're drying them, you do have to be careful if you're using obviously a heat tool like I was with the acetate there. This one's not quite as dry as it could be. You could of course let them air dry as well. Alright, now the next thing I did was I just used some of my pearl white paint, which is an old Sonya one, and I just watered it down a little bit. And with a very large brush, just simply wiped it over there. Just a little bit, not too much, so it gives it a bit of a sheen. Not sure how it will work on this one, but we'll give it a try. Why not? Something a little bit different. Okay, and obviously let that dry, but you can see, hopefully you can see, yep, there we go, there's a little bit of sheen on there as well. So it just lifts it a little bit, I think. You don't have to have much, but, and if you've got any sprays, I suppose you could also use those as well. So that's those. What I might do is just finish off these, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so what I've done is I've sewn around these ones. This one I used the dark brown cotton, and it's just a little pocket. I think I would have preferred, well, I did prefer the lighter cotton, so I changed the cotton to a more of a cream colour for this one. So that's how that one's worked out, and I do like the back actually, and it could be written on as a tag. And I did notice what I haven't done, if I can find my tag punch. Okay, we'll use this one. It needs a hole. Alright, so just a little bit of decorating now. This one I just thought I'd just stick that and pop a button on it. So it's just a corner little decoration, and this could be popped into a journal or something like that. So just quickly grab some cotton. Thought I'd pop that button on it just for something. Okay. Sorry, I'm probably out of shot. So basically just popping that on with a couple of stitches just to hold it on. If I can get it back through the same hole. There we go. Whoops. Okay, so what I will do is just glue that onto the corner with some craft glue. If the craft glue will work for me. Okay, so that's just a little corner embellishment there. Okay, so that's finished. Now this one, I have a little bit of a cluster here, a blue cluster, and I found these blue shoes, which I thought were really cute, and I've got a little word there, so I thought I would glue those on. Glue is clearly near the end. This could actually be sewn into the signature of a journal right from the beginning. Nothing worse than when they get to the end. And the word dreams. Thought that was quite nice. Okay, now these ones, I have a little cluster that I'm going to pop across there with a little bow. Let's see if my other glue might be a bit more cooperative. Pop this one upside down in this jar. Alright. Glue all over my fingers now. And just a little bow. So that's that one finished. Now this one, I thought I would make, it's like a little dangle tag, I guess. And the inspiration from these came from Sonya Stepto. She did something similar the other day. So all I've done is cut some bits of fabric and lace, rectangular sort of shapes, and I'm just going to sew them together. Looks like a lot of glue on my fingers, which doesn't help. Okay, now I do have a couple of little bits of lace that or ribbon, sorry, that I'm going to attach as well. Oops, that didn't work. Oh dear. See what I've done. Come through the wrong way. So just chop it. Okay. And I'm going to need some more cotton. Alright, take two. Okay, now we're coming out the front this time, so this should work. I'm just going to sew it into place there. Okay, now I've pulled out a little flower, and it was actually more three-dimensional, but I've flattened it a little bit because I think if it's in a journal or something, you don't want it too puffy. So I'm thinking I could leave that stem there, but I don't really like it, so I'm just going to chop it, and I think I'll just glue it there actually. It's probably better to glue it than trying to get the needle through that. Alright, so we'll just finish this off with a couple of back stitches, and we'll just glue that there, and I might get a little bit of bling to stick on there. I'll be right back. Okay, now I'll just glue that. Okay, and grab one of these, and I might need a double glue. They do have glue on them, but I find they don't stick very well. And probably overkill the glue, but anyway. Alright, so that one will sit on this tag like so. Okay, now if I hold it up a little bit, hopefully you'll be able to see it a little bit better. And I'll pop some ribbon or something in there, probably something purple. We'll have a look in a minute. Alright, so we have this one. We have this one. Oh, this one here, I haven't done this one. Now this one is the envelope, the original envelope. I've just cut that so that it can be sewn into a journal. And what you can do is just give it a bit of a shape so that it's something like that. And then I'm just going to sew this, pop this on here. It's just a bit of a cluster. Like so. Now what you could do is also put something as a little bit of a feature, a focal point, and I've just chosen a little bit of a word, sentiment, and it just says pure and simple, and I'm just going to pop it across there like that. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, and of course we have this one, and we have this one. So they will all be used somehow or other in my journals as I'm making them. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, please pop over to Sabrina's channel to check out how she dyed her envelopes. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.